Did you know that there is an EV company that sells one EV every 10 minutes? Last year they sold 4.2 million of their EV vehicles, and Tesla only sold 1.8 million, making this company the largest seller of EV cars in the whole world. And the name of this company is BYD. You'd be surprised to know that BYD was almost out of business until Warren Buffett himself came and saved the company by investing 230 million USD at 10% stake in this company. Even Elon Musk arrogantly laughed at BYD.
With BYD, which is also on the West Coast, I think they're ramping up production of their electric vehicles. Warren Buffett owns 10% stake in that. Why do you laugh? BYD is trying to compete. Why do you laugh?
Have you seen their car?
Tell me why you're laughing. You don't see them at all as a competitor.
No.
In this video, we are going to uncover this outstanding case study of BYD, how this company became the largest seller of EVs in the whole world. So the first point, and certainly the most important point for the success of BYD, was its hybrid vehicles. So what are hybrid vehicles? Vehicles that can be used both as a traditional fuel vehicle, plus they can also be used as a battery electric vehicle. So the question is, why hybrid vehicles were such an important factor in the success of BYD? Why didn't just create an EV similar to what Tesla does, just the normal battery electric cars? To answer this question, we need to go back a little bit. In 2008, when the first hybrid vehicle was released. At the time, the infrastructure of China was not really great to support EVs. A normal person using an EV had a fear that what if I want to go from point A to point B and the battery charge goes down. At the time, there were no power stations, or very limited power stations to charge their car. And that's why BYD comes and tells to their people that, listen, we created a car that can be used as an electric car, plus they can be used as a fuel car. If you are using in electric mode and the battery goes down, you can switch to fuel mode and you can complete your destination. If you're using fuel mode and the fuel goes down, you can switch to electric mode and continue your journey. And hybrid cars became a huge success. Until last year, in 2024, BYD sold 1.7 million of their battery electric cars and 2.5 million of their hybrid cars, which is 60% of their total sales. Till now, hybrid cars are more popular than just battery electric cars, and Tesla sold none of it because Tesla doesn't create any hybrid cars. Now let's talk about the second most important point for the success of BYD. It is as important as the first point, that is government support. As I was stating in the first point, that during 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, the EV infrastructure was not really great. So government made a lot of initiatives to improve that, and by 2024, they created 2.7 million public charging stations in China, which accounts for 65% of the world's total charging point. Compared it to US, which they only had 138,000 charging points. Creating ecosystem was not the only thing that Chinese government did to help BYD and other EV companies, but they also invested billions of dollars as in subsidies to these companies to keep the cost of the EVs down so that the people could adopt EVs. And another question is, why is that government helping them so much? What is the motive behind the government to help them? And the answer is pretty simple, is that first thing, that they don't want to rely on foreign oil imports from Middle East. And the second point is the air pollution, because at the time during 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, you might remember that the pollution in China was extreme, and some of the cities of China, including Beijing, were one of the most polluted cities in the whole world in terms of air pollution.
The two main sources for all of this toxic smog are the heavy reliance on coal as the dominant form of power generation and the high and still growing levels of car ownership.
So they had this motivation to make adoption of the EVs successful in China, and the government support to particularly BYD was so extreme that at some of the cities and towns where BYD had their manufacturing plant, assembling plant, they made it compulsory for the taxi drivers in that area to use BYD cars as their taxis. And third point that made BYD one of the biggest success stories of 21st century was its vehicle pricing. BYD sells one of the cheapest cars in the whole world. And the reason why BYD was able to sell their car at such a lower price is because 70% of all their components, spare parts used in their car, are built in-house. From molding, production line equipments, batteries, motor parts, to ships that transport car abroad, all are made in-house. For example, for BYD Dolphin, only tires and windows are delivered by suppliers and all the other components are made in-house. Compared to Tesla, only 40% of the components are made in-house and all the other components, all the other 60% are imported from different suppliers all over the world, thus significantly increases the price of Tesla. Plus, one more thing that works in favor of BYD is that it's built in China and the labor cost in China is less than that of US. That is also a small reason why they were able to keep their prices of the vehicles very low. Another very important thing that you need to remember is that battery accounts for 40 to 50% of the total vehicle cost of an EV. And the great thing about BYD is that before they started building EVs, they were a global leader in battery manufacturing. And they still are. So all of the batteries that they use in their car are built by them, built in-house, significantly reducing the price of their cars, while competitors had to buy batteries from a dedicated battery manufacturer. For example, Tesla buys large portion of their batteries from CATL and LG, thus significantly increases the price of their vehicles. And all the things that are built in-house give BYD a competitive edge in pricing and margin while competitors lag behind.